Since day one, it was like you could see he's just one of those guys. Just give me the ball. I don't care about rolls or any of that stuff. What I'm doing, start long man. If you're in a pinch, give me the ball in the ninth inning. I'll save a game for you.
Joey Gallo popped up on the infield, broke his bat. Will Crowe went 2 innings. Gallo, another guy that'll strike out a ton. A lot of pop, 38 homers, but 213 strikeouts last year.
A good candidate to strike out right here. Because the first 4 pitches, it looked like Stratton is throwing the ball where he wants to. That first curveball, he spotted the fastball after that, missed on purpose on the 0-2 pitch. And it just brings a breaking ball over the outside corner. Yeah, that was a little high. Last pitch, you could tell by the target, Perez wanted it away. Maybe not up and away. See what he does now. A curveball for a strike on the outside corner. Stratton looks ready.
Yes, he said, this abbreviated spring training really is not going to affect a guy like, most relievers.
Yeah, they're going to pitch an inning anyway during the season.
Yeah.
Sometimes is 2.
And down on strikes goes Gallo, and let's go out to Robbie with Will Crowe.
Yeah, we're here joined by starter Will Crowe. Will, first outing of 2022, extended first inning, quick second. How would you assess how everything went?
Yeah, first inning was getting a little quick on some of my off-speed pitches, so it led to some long ABs and some stuff that I didn't want to happen. But, for the most part, when they were hitting the ball, they left one pitch over the plate to the first guy, the guy who got the single off the end of the bat, kind of beat the shift type thing. I'm pretty happy with it. You come back out of the second inning, you get that first one out of your way and come back out of the second inning and have a quick one. It's a good one to build off of and keep going, get ready for the year.
With an abbreviated spring, what's the biggest key to getting yourself ready come April 7th?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just working on my execution. Results are going to happen, one way or another. But if I execute the way I want, I know by the end of the year, I'm going to have the season I want to have. So for me, early strikes, 7 of 10, I think was what they told me today, which is something I'm working really hard on. And then just keeping, like I said, my execution rate pretty high. And I felt like I did that for the most part in the second inning, especially. So it was a good one to build off of.
Will, you had your first full season as a big leaguer last year. Throughout the season, you said the one thing you wanted to work on was becoming more efficient with your pitches so you can go deeper into ball games. When you look back on last year, what can you take from that and apply to 2022?
Yeah, I think last year sometimes I was trying to be too fine with things and, not throw it over and just let them get themselves out. And I think today in that second inning, there's some guys who put some good swings on some balls, but at the same time, they're outs. And that's what I'm trying to do is just get quick outs, get guys to get themselves out. And I think from last year to this year, it's more of just being over the plate in the zone, doing my thing.
So the biggest news for Will Crowe, though, for everyone out there, is 8 days after the 2021 season came to a close, Will and his wife Hillary welcomed their first child into the world, Koa Ruffing Crowe. As we're seeing photos of you, your wife, and your son right now, how is life different now than it was from the end of last season, Will?
Yeah, it's definitely different than when I was, sleeping until 11 and playing video games and things. But, you're on a 3-hour schedule. You wake up, you feed him, you hold him up, you get to play with him a little bit, and you do it all over again. So we're just so blessed. He's such a joy, and we're really excited for him to be able to travel with us and go around the country.
Now, Will, you gave us some pictures and a little video of you playing with little Koa. But the interesting story here is going to be how he got the name Koa. You want to explain to everyone how you and Hillary came up with that name?
Yeah, I think we were both just kind of struggling. Boy names were hard for us. We had, I think, 3 girl names, and we both like Cohen and we both like Noah. And I think one day we just kind of shocked and looked at each other and we were like, Koa, and kind of put them together. And we decided that was the one for sure. So that one stuck pretty quick.
Yeah, there it is. Now, when you look at the game of baseball as opposed to the game of life, I guess, in a sense, how much easier does it maybe feel a little bit when you come home and you see little Koa smiling at you after a ball game?
Yeah, it's I'm about to see him right now. So it's definitely a joy. You know, it puts things into perspective. You know, we get to play a game for a living, and you know, getting to see him and just having him as a joy, and then being able to go to the field every day is just something that I'll never take for granted.
Before we let you go, we'll talk about this rotation. There are a lot of guys who can take up spots, and with any baseball team, it's going to be more than 5 guys that are going to pitch this season. How do you like what you guys are putting forward here in terms of the youth and the guys coming up through the system to put this team in position to have some success down the road?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of good arms, a lot of good people who are going to be pitching for us this year, and especially in the rotation. And you know, I think a lot of us needed to take that next step, and from what I've seen so far, a lot of us have. So it'll be exciting to see what we got, what's coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Will, thanks for joining us, and congratulations to you and Hillary on the addition of Little Koa. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Greg and Bob.
Great to see Will Crow healthy, and congrats on the new addition.
Yeah, I like what he said there about his goal is to become more efficient, because that's really the fly in the ointment a little bit with Will. Is it seemed to pitch count seemed to get away from him. Yeah, and that's like with a lot of guys nowadays. But if you want to go deeper, and they're watching that 100 mark, they're watching the 90 mark more than anything else anymore. It seems like that the efficiency is a big thing. You got to get some quick outs. You know, there's times where you got to go for that strikeout, but there's other times where, hey, he had a line out to right field. Who cares? It's an out. In a box score, it's just going to be an 0 for 1.
Ball's popped up, little trouble finding it initially, but recovering there. Diego Castillo was in that shift over towards short, but that was popped way up in the air by Austin Wells as Gleyber Torres had taken off on the pitch. Second out.
And he had mentioned also that, trying to be too firm, which is trying to miss the bat, trying not to have the ball put in play. Well, if you want to be efficient, that's not the way to go about it. Efficiency is to get quick outs. And that's you're going to have to try and hit the bat a couple times. Just take the sting out of it. Get the pop fly. Get the weak ground ball. And occasionally get the line out. And, if you can get to where you're more consistent doing that, then you get through 5 innings, throwing 75 pitches. Now you're looking at going 6-7.
See Jose Peraza grounded out in the first inning, the former Cincinnati Red. Yeah, there we are. Dad with Koa. Great smile. Say hi, Koa.
Wave to everybody at home.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if he's right-handed or left-handed. It's always
very important.
Very important.
Yeah. Dad's a right-hander. What about that? You're 3.
They're all righties.
Tommy, Johnny, Ronnie, they're all righties.
Yep. John's here somewhere today.
John, the former minor leaguer for the Pirates. John Walk is here today. Popped up, Tucker out. Whoa!
Nice
on.
play.
Cole Tucker with Greg Allen coming in.
We've seen Tucker do that sort of thing so many times.
Acrobatic catch. Well done. Derek Shelton will like that. We're going to talk to the Pirates skipper coming up.
Our staff's done a nice job. I mean, I think the one thing that we've learned throughout the last 3 years is adapt and adjust and do some things that way. And the staff's done a really good job. And this year we're just doing it really quickly.
Well, there's going to be some other adjustments, new rules this year with the DH. I was curious, do you have a preference on how you use the DH? Do you like one guy, or do you use a rotation? How would you like it to go?
I think we'll rotate people through there. I mean, I think we're still kind of looking at what our personnel is going to be. I think the game has gone away from, the David Ortiz. I mean, Nelly Cruz is still doing it. But I think it's a way to give guys a break and still keep them in their lineup, especially young guys like we're going to have.
Here's Cole Tucker, made a nice play to end the top of this third inning and hits a fly ball to deep center. Cole Tucker, how about that? Makes the great play and then hits one onto the boardwalk, Shelty.
Yeah, that's good. That's, they always say the guy that makes the great play in the inning gets to lead off the next inning, and Tuck made a heck of a play, and he got that one pretty good.
Now, there's been talk of Tucker kind of this spring training looking at more of a utility role than a starting role. But no matter what, he has got to hit, no matter where you put him out there. So that really is the fly in the ointment for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, hitting's going to be the most important thing. I mean, I think we saw last inning, excuse me, how athletic he is and the things he's been able to do. He will bounce around the field, but he had a really good winter. He spent a lot of time working on his swing and doing different things with it, and it's nice to see him get a good swing off right there.
And here's Greg Allen now, a veteran, who stole second base after he was hit by that pitch in the first inning.
So you let him, or gave him the green light, however you want to say it, as far as stealing it. Are you going to try and be a little more conservative with guys on the bases, or just, play it like a normal spring in that regard?
I think we'll play like a normal spring as we get later in. I think the one thing we know with Greg is, where his legs are at and how he takes care of himself. I mean, the one thing that Terrence Brannick, our strength coach, has said is this guy takes care of his body about as well as anybody's ever been around. So we knew, he was in good shape. And I told, T-Brock when we talked, like if they feel like they can go, they can go. And, he picked a good count. He picked a 3-0 count where no one was really paying attention and got himself a bag.
Greg Allen with Roberto Perez on deck. We're talking to the Pirates skipper, Derek Shelton. Game one of an abbreviated schedule, 18 games. And because of that, Shelty, how tough is this going to be for you to get guys enough at bats?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the one challenge. We may have to use, minor league at bats in the back, and guys go back and get 4 or 5 in a day. And the other reason for that is just, Walkie's point of making sure where their legs are at. And we really have to ramp up volume fast. I think the unfortunate thing is it's going to cost, some of our non-roster guys in camp the ability to see them for an extended period of time. But we got to get our guys ready that, have the potential to be on our club.
Yeah, the 18-game schedule really puts a lot of pressure on the guys that are on the fringe to show you something immediately, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and that's the one thing we talked about is, what you did this winter and how you prepared was on you, and you have to be accountable for how you prepared. And so far, we've really seen good signs out of our group, and they did a nice job coming into camp.
Now Roberto Perez to right.
It is pretty amazing that you can have your first official workout on a Tuesday and be playing games on a Friday. I didn't think it would be possible, but here it is, and to this point, it's a decently played game.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And, I think we'll probably at times see some sloppy baseball just because, we haven't put in all of our team defenses yet. I mean, we haven't had the time. I mean, you have 17 defenses, and we've had 3 days, and the first day was watching, and then the second day was a rain day. So, yeah, I think you're going to see probably some things that get screwed up a little bit. But the one thing about us is we're going to continue to teach. We're going to use those moments to talk about how we do things and make sure that, when we get to St. Louis, we're ready.
Well, I take this moment to give you can give him Donnie Kelly a plug. I mean, that rain day, he told me he is up at like 4 a.m. trying to get things flipped so that you guys wouldn't have a wasted day because they're so precious.
Yeah, I mean, Donnie does a great job. He's had running spring training is challenging in its own right, and Donnie's had a challenge of running spring training in 2020 in 2 places, and last year with it being delayed without other position players to go get, and then this year and having 3 days. And he really does an unbelievable job. He's extremely diligent. He's extremely prepared. And, there's probably not a more positive person in our camp than Donnie, and I think that really exudes with our group.
You're probably going to lose him someday. Somebody's going to grab him up.
I'll be more than happy to lose him for that way. I mean, I think he deserves to do it. I think it's just a matter of time, before he gets the opportunity. And until then, we're going to enjoy, every second he's with us.
Shelty, 2 outs. We hope this inning continues, but just in case, and we appreciate you giving us your time here, because a chance for fans to hear from the Pirates manager, game 1 of the shortened schedule. What message do you have for Pirate fans coming into this season?
I think they should be excited about, the opportunity that we're going to have a bunch of young players to get. I think the one thing that Ben's really been, clear on is what our process is, and we've stuck to it, and then we're going to continue to stick to it. And I think we're going to see some exciting baseball this year in Pittsburgh.
Shelty, thanks a million for your time.
All right, thanks guys.
Shelty.
Derek Shelton, Pirates manager, got a chance to see the home run by Cole Tucker. It's 2-1 Yankees. See what he did last year at AAA Syracuse. And a pop-up. Shallow left. There's Cole Tucker.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
No matter, it's no matter what position you put him at, too. He's everywhere. He covers some ground out there. And, man, if he could get some consistency with that bat. That home run he hit, Greg, I mean, the wind's blowing out. We showed that. But I think on a normal day, that's easily out of here.
Estimated at, I think, 429. Distance.
Hey, the wind probably put an extra 20 on it, so 409 gets out.
Still
easy.
A home run.
Yeah, easy. Just hits right there on the edge of the tiki bar instead of over it.
Off the end of the bat. Efficient for Jared Eichhoff in his Pirates debut. Eichhoff with the Mets last year. Showed you those numbers at AAA Syracuse. He also made 5 appearances with the Mets. Parts of 5 years with the Phillies. An 11-game winner as a rookie in 2016. With a 3.65 ERA for Jared Eichhoff. Rob Brantley. That'll be out of play. Eichhoff works quickly. Brantley's been with a number of organizations. Kyle Higashioka figures to be their starter. They have traded Gary Sanchez. Throwing strikes. Martin Witter. Foul ground.
Guys that have good command, it looks like it's not a fight out there. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
free and easy.
They're more, yeah.
Everything doesn't look to be a struggle.
Yeah, when you're not throwing strikes, you're having a hard time. And now he misses by a mile, of course. But
you knew that.
You look like you're just fighting yourself. Like the Stratton was out there. Look, everything was easy. I mean, you're going to give up home runs. You might give up a lot of stuff, but it just looks easier, more comfortable.
It sure looked easy
and
there.
That was an easy inning.
Jared Eichhoff, 1, 2, 3. time. See what he did last year at AAA Syracuse. And a pop up. Shallow left. There's Cole Tucker.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
No matter, it's no matter what position you put him at, too. He's everywhere. He covers some ground out there. And, man, if he could get
on the mound now for the Yankees.
And last year, AAA, he's numbers.
Diego Castillo. The ball off of the starter Wisniewski for an infield single.
Showing a good eye on these first couple pitches. First one's a smidgen in. That one just a little off the plate. Took them both and way ahead to count.
And these guys that were in another club and another organization, they're out there trying to impress not only the Pirates coaching staff. Diego Castillo was traded over from the Yankees last year in the Clay Holmes deal, but I'd love to show Aaron Boone and the rest of the Yankees organization what they're missing. And there is a strike called. It's 3-1 on Diego Castillo.
He's one of those guys that we were just talking to Shelty about, that the pressure's on because there's not going to be very long spring training, so you gotta come out firing.
He takes pitch up, ball 4. Castillo increased his walk rate last year. He draws a free pass. Now it's Jared Oliva. Liover Peguero next to Derek Shelton. Talk about one of the top prospects. We'll see Peguero shortly. This is when it gets fun for Pirates fans, when you start to see prospects in spring training get some at-bats, get some playing time.
I think back to the days when Pedro and Kutch,
Neil Walker,
G.I.
Garrett Jones.
Yeah, G.I. Jones they would come up, and it seemed like they always went in about the 7th inning. And they'd put on a show, wouldn't they?
Yeah, all of a sudden, Pirates are coming back, winning ball games.
Yeah, it was like, that was a nice little crew that they were able to bring up there at the same time. That's what I think you have to have. You got to have those core players hit at the same time, and it really makes you a nice little window of opportunity for a while. And you see that right now. There's a set of core players that maybe a few more of them in A-ball last year than in Double-A, but they're all moving up together.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 different levels. Speaking of Neil, he'll be on the air when
his first telecast
Tuesday
is coming up on Tuesday. Yeah, Pirates will host the Orioles here. Neil Walker will join us in the booth.
Be sitting here next to Greg.
We'll have Kevin Young join us a little bit later on in the spring, and Matt Capps.
And John Wayner.
Yeah, John going to do some games sporadically this spring.
He's over on the radio.
You're kind of overloading your schedule the early part.
Yeah, I'm loading it up.
Yeah.
Well, with 5 of us, you got to kind of spread it out.
Yeah. Mark Gardner knows what Derek Shelton's going through.
Yeah.
Trying to get innings in for guys.
Yeah.
Strike 3 called on Oliva. Didn't agree with it. Here's Cal Mitchell. There they are, but you can see, well, you can almost see. You can see the figures there. Yeah, that's John Wayner and Joe Block on the radio side.
Well protected by the netting.
That's some heavy-duty netting. Oh, my.
Yeah.
How do they see through that thing?
Well, this was the most dangerous booth in baseball for a long time.
Yeah. We still flinch.
There were
See a foul ball.
all kinds. Oh, there's still some holes over there in the back of their booth.
Yeah, they kept those for time's sake.
And see, look at the huge divots in our door from foul balls.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a place that you could not take your eye off the live action. You might be wearing one.
And fans coming out to this ballpark for the first time the last couple of years get a chance to see this game with the netting going down both right and left field foul poles all the way. So everybody is protected. And Mitchell toward the line in left field. That's going to get down and stay in play. Mike Rabello is coaching third base for the Pirates this season. He holds up Diego Castillo, the double by Cal Mitchell.
And the home run hitter coming up. Mitchell hit it where it was pitched. There was an off-speed pitch away. And poked it down in the corner. Nice job. Well, I'd love to see Martin get a hold of one here. Went down on strikes looking his first time up.
Cal Mitchell's double has the Pirates in business here with 1 out in the 4th.
You know, you hear about these guys, coming up through the minor leagues, and your first chance to really get a good look at them, usually spring training scenarios, and you want to see what you've been hearing about. And I want to see Martin really
show off some of that power.
Yeah, smoke one right here. They get the wind blowing out. That's what he wants to do.
'93 misses. Martin from Kennewick, Washington. Left side of the infield is in on the grass. Second baseman Torres back on the outfield grass.
Martin.
Mason Martin trying to get Diego Castillo home. Martin last year, 22 home runs at Double-A Altoona in our first conference. Kiner left end, Rob Randley. Aaron Boone, Yankee skipper. One ball, one strike on Martin. And now 1-2. Another look there at Diego Castillo. Mentioned Mike Rabello. He's a third base coach now. He's been the Major League field coordinator the last couple years. He replaces Joey Cora over at third base.
Well, Joey had a pretty good run over there.
He was here a while, wasn't he?
Yep. There's a little bit of a revolving door for a while there.
Yeah.
Third base spot. A little bit under the microscope as a third base coach.
Yeah.
You can take a lot of heat and guys start getting thrown out. But it's kind of like a closer. You gotta have a thick skin, let it roll off your back and go back at them the next day. Sometimes the next base hit.
Yeah. And Martin caught looking.
That's what got him last time. That breaking ball.
Tucker, good hit. Good hitting.
Just a breaking ball that started off the plate, broke into the zone. Now, the one that got him that first thing was a little flatter. Actually came in a little bit further, but very similar pitches.
It is up to the designated hitter for the Pirates now, Endy Rodriguez. The broken bat looper back to the pitcher his first time up. Just 21 years old. He'll turn 22 in May. He came over from the Mets. Speaking of Joey Cora, Cora went to the Mets, his third base coach this year for New York, but Pirates got Endy Rodriguez in a 3-team deal. Joe Musgrove out to the Padres, and Pirates used one of the players they got from San Diego, Joey Lucchesi, and traded him to the Mets to get Endy Rodriguez at a fine year last year at Bradenton. Where some folks are using the canopy, the shade, beautiful 84 degrees at game time.
I don't know if you could draw up a more perfect first day as far as the weather. There's a little bit of a breeze, not much, and it is blowing out. Always like it when it's blowing out. So that means it's going to be warm.
He takes 2-0 on Endy Rodriguez. Hit 294 low A ball with Bradenton last year. With 15 homers, drove in 73 runs. Endy Rodriguez was the low A Southeast League most valuable player last season. His first year in the Pirates organization. That was the deal that brought David Bednar over from San Diego, along with some other prospects. Two and two.
Well, that was a big pitch right there to get called a strike.
Braden Bristow. And lifted to right. Florial will put it away. Couple men left on. 2-1 Yankees. first. Take on the Connell, I'm sure, is tuned in. The voice of the Phoenix Coyotes. He's a big Bucco fan. And Esteban Florial will lead off against Jared Eichhoff. Very efficient 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. One of the top prospects in baseball here, Esteban Florial. Lines it to right. And a little bit of a late jump. That was a screamer at Cal Mitchell. He makes a nice catch.
It's tough to get the a good read on balls off the bat here. You have the low stands, and not a good backdrop. So he did a good job to catch that, make that adjustment. I don't know if we've ever missed a spring. Or we haven't talked about how tough the outfield is to play. And another quick out. Or the 2 pitches, 3 pitches he threw.
Couple.
He's going after the strike zone. Like it.
Faces Kiner Falefa. Doubled off Will Crow, leading off the ball game. Will Crow went a couple innings, got his work in. Heard him talking to Robbie, Chris Stratton. Pitched the third, and now Jared Eichhoff, a veteran right-hander in camp. Just reaches out and into center. And one hands it into center field.
That's a perfect example of what you get when you're throwing strikes. You got the hard hit ball that ended up going for an out, the line drive out there. And that one, you just barely hit off the end of the bat. Well, it falls in. So you have to take the good with the bad when you're throwing the ball and getting it put in play. Yeah, I think it's why some pitchers fall into that little bit of a trap of trying to miss bats all the time, because base hits like that get under their skin so much. They want to strike out so that can't happen. But strikeouts take a lot of pitches.
So, pinch runner Anthony Volpe. Over there, another top prospect. Two and 0. Comes back with a strike to Gallo.
Two old breaking ball strike.
First of 2 meetings with the Yankees. The Pirates will go to Tampa on Sunday, March 27th, and the Pirates and Yankees will play home-and-home series during the regular season. Swing and a miss by Gallo.
Way out in front of the off-speed delivery. Two outs to get, but I'm really liking this outing. One of my old bat boys.
Aaron Boone?
Yeah, he was just a little kid when I knew him.
Yeah.
Him and his brother used to come out, play around on the field when they were little.
Oh, that's right. I guess you'd have been in Philly when he was just running around.
Yep.
His dad, Bob, longtime Phillies catcher. First walk, 2 on. There's a Gleyber Torres. The Pirates game is some more fun in groups, so start planning your group outing now. Group discounts start at just 10 people with the option to add on exclusive fan experiences, loaded value, and much more. To purchase your group package, visit pirates.com/groups. To see at PNC Park, opening up the home schedule on April the 12th. Homestand begins with that 4-1-2 game against the Cubs. Popped up. Carter Binns having trouble. That ball's going to spin and go back to the pitcher's mound. Diego Castillo will make the catch. Carter Binns came on to catch in the 3rd inning. Took off his mask, was looking toward the backstop. Ends up being caught by the third baseman.
With that wind blowing over the top of our booth here, pushing everything out there, the spin you were talking about, no chance that ball was not going to land up by the mound.
Austin Wells added to the lineup right around game time when it was announced that Luke Voigt had been traded to the San Diego Padres.
A pretty good hook.
Two strikes, 2 outs, 2 aboard. And there is Mason Martin.
What a nice outing, huh?
2 strong for the veteran right-hander Jared Eichhoff. Here on a Friday afternoon, mid-March, here's Cole Tucker, always on the go. Leadoff man for the Pirates today. Homered, leading off the 3rd inning, made a nice catch in shallow left. Playing shortstop for Pittsburgh. Some changes we'll get to.
Early leader for player of the day.
Yeah.
You better left-handed or better right-handed?
Cole Tucker. Switch hitter. Derek Shelton talked to us earlier about all the hard work he continues to put in. Spent some extra time here in Bradenton last year.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been any question about how bad he wants this and how.
High drive to right center field. Ball carries, and it's dropped. And Tucker heads to third base. He's standing there at third. Looked as though that
had an inside homer, I think, there.
center fielder still Inciarte. He had a beat on it.
No, we said early on that there's never a spring goes by that we don't talk about how hard this is. I mean, that ball just landed on the track. I think. I don't know if he even got a hand on it.
No, you're right. Dropped like in front of him.
Yeah. I mean, During the season, you'd almost have to give him an error.
Yeah.
They had an inside homer, I think, there.
Now Greg Allen. And then now we have the pinch runner, Vilver Peguero. And Allen hits a fly ball to deep center field. And this one's gone. Ender Inciarte kept going back and watched it sail out of here. A 2-run homer for Greg Allen. Pirates take the lead.
I think that's what Inciarte thought was going to happen to the last fly ball out there. He got fooled by it badly. This one, this is a wind-blown home run. But doesn't matter. Wind blows from both sides. What we say earlier, a day like today, just hit it decent and get it in the air, and you got a good chance. Right to the front row.
Well, now Carter Binns, who took over for Roberto Perez behind the plate earlier. First at bat for the 23-year-old Carter Binns. Came over in the deal with the Mariners last year for Tyler Anderson. Yeah. And Carter Binns replacing Roberto Perez. And let's go down to Robbie with the Pirates catcher.
Yeah, so you got Roberto Perez, who's won not one but 2 Gold Gloves in his big league career. First time wearing the Pirates black and gold. How's the experience been so far for you, Roberto?
It's been good. You know, everyone is nice. I'm trying to get to know all my teammates, you know, coaching staff, front office guys. So far, you know, I'm just having fun, and I'm happy to get this thing going.
For the first time in your career, you switch teams and you have a short spring training. What is the biggest challenge in learning your pitching staff?
I think knowing what their strengths are. You know, we don't have that month and a half, 2 months, you know, to get to know everybody. But I'm trying my best, you know, trying to communicate with all the pitchers, coaches, and try to get in the same page as as everyone. And so far it's been good. So we've been meeting a lot and getting all the pitchers, you know, in a group of 5 every day, trying to get their stuff, try to see what they like to do pitching wise. So it's been good.
You know, Jacob Stallings was a late bloomer in his career. He ends up winning a Gold Glove, gets traded to the Miami Marlins. You've won 2 Gold Gloves. What has led to your success defensively?
I think taking pride of what I do behind the plate, trusting my pitchers, and just don't try to do too much behind the plate. I really got a good routine. Get me ready for the game. So I will continue to do that. The main thing for me is being healthy. You know, with health you could do a lot of things. So trying to stay healthy for the whole year and be back there as much as I can.
You know, we talked to a lot of players around Major League Baseball who are from Puerto Rico. They idolize Roberto Clemente growing up. You're from Puerto Rico, and now you get to wear a Pirates uniform. How special is that to you, Roberto?
It is special. It's an honor, I feel like. You know, all the history that Roberto Clemente, growing up, you heard him. You know, I never got to know him, but you hear good stuff. The way he died and stuff like that. You know, he was always helping the community, and trust me, I'm wearing this jersey with an honor, with pride, and representing Puerto Rico as well.
Roberto, welcome to Pittsburgh, and thanks for taking a couple minutes with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Greg and Bob, Roberto Perez.
All right, Robbie, thank you. Roberto Perez signing with the Pirates over the winter, longtime Cleveland Indian. You know, talking about the legacy, Roberto Clemente. And great to have Roberto Perez, the captain of that pitching staff.
That's a very important thing that he. Yeah, another one of those deals is going to be affected by the 18-game preseason schedule, but he has to learn that staff. He You have to have some kind of relationships going. I mean, you don't have to be like their best buddies and go out to dinner with them all the time, but you have to have that on the field relationship, that trust, and you want to know what they're capable of doing in different situations. What are they like? Is there a big difference between what they show you in the bullpen and what they show you when you get out onto the field? Just little things like that.
Yeah. Yep, it's good to have him. Those Gold Gloves at
in the bullpen and what they show you when you get out onto the field. Just little things like that.
Yeah. Yep, it's good to have him. Those Gold Gloves at defense can be very strong behind the plate. He's not known for his bat, but he's got some pop. And Pirates still looking for who will be his backup this year. That'll be it for Bristow. Pitching change. We're coming back.
Descriptions of this game may not.
Cole Tucker done for the day, and a good day. Leading off at short. Nice defensive play earlier in the ball game, and homered and a triple. Helped out by the conditions.
Yeah, first game showing what he needed to, showing the offense. Like that the great catch he made. There is no doubt that his defense is always going to be there, no matter where you put him out there. That's one of the reasons why they're thinking now about.
And look at Diego Castillo going to try and make a double out of it, but he's thrown out easily.
Why they're thinking about making him a utility player. We're talking about Tucker, but maybe he'll still find